Gimmicks. Now some of you guys might be like, hey Max, what the hell is a gimmick? And you know what? It is kind of hard to define, so I'm just gonna go and give you a good example. A spork. Now we all know what a spork is. It's just a spoon and a fork all in one. Now, let me give you an example of when I have used a spork. Notice I didn't say anything. Cause let's be real, sporks suck. When are you gonna use a spork? Ooh, I need to go and like, no one uses sporks. They're useless. They're a marketing ploy. They're a gimmick. Now, one place that's not a stranger to allowing gimmicks to walk in is the video game market. I mean, just look at all these gimmicks. Xbox Connect, PlayStation Move, the PlayStation Camera, and you can't forget all those games that use the Wii Remote's motion controls, when that really wasn't a good idea. I mean, did you really need to use motion controls in Call of Duty? These are all examples of gimmicks in video games, and if you want to learn more about them, then I recommend watching When Gimmicks Go Too Far by Scott DeWaz, which is a really fantastic video and I highly recommend it. But for this video, we're going to be exclusively talking about gimmicks from within Minecraft, because A, I'm a Minecraft YouTuber, and B, because I want to talk about them, which you gotta remember, that is the greatest reason for anything. If someone's like, hey Max, why do you want to go to a pizza restaurant? And you say, it's because I want pizza. That should shut them up very quickly. It's the greatest reason of all time, and it's very easy. And now I'm taking too long, so just get into this. So for our first Minecraft gimmick that we're going to be talking about, let's talk about something that was added somewhat recently. The goat. Now some of you guys may be saying, hey Max, how is the goat a gimmick? And I'm glad you asked that, because I can explain. Now currently the goats only have one single unique thing about them, which is that they have a 2% chance to spawn as a screaming goat, which makes pretty funny noises, but you know what, is that really useful? No, not at all. But even if you're not talking usefulness, that's kind of a basic mob. It's like a really basic. And let's be real here, goats in general aren't even that cute. So, like, you can confuse the pandas, but for goats, nah, it's just a gimmick. I do want to mention that Mojang is planning on adding goat horns as like a drop from goats, and they're pretty fire, but they haven't added those yet. And even right now, we don't really know that the intended use yet. So currently, goats are nothing more than a gimmick. The next gimmick that I want to talk about is the turtle shell, also known as the turtle shell helmet. Now, the reason why I consider the turtle shell a gimmick is actually for a couple of reasons. So first of all, it's insanely hard to get. Well, it's not really that hard to get, but it's incredibly tedious to get, because you have to wait for turtles to hatch. And turtle hatching is a very, very long, drawn-out, and stupid process for turtles, which could also be described as a gimmick, because other than that, they don't really do that much. This is all just a root of a gimmick, honestly. But you know what? We're not going to talk about that now. We're just going to go and talk about how turtle shells are a gimmick. And, you know, turtle shells, they're a decent item. They're pretty fashionable. You can't lie about that. They got the same colors as my YouTube logo. And, you know, you get 2 armor points from them and water breathing for 10 seconds, which, you know, it's pretty chill. But for what you're doing, it's not that good. And I've never really seen anyone use these. I mean, you can also use them to brew a potion of a turtle master, but once again, no one cares about that. It's pretty irrelevant. So yeah, but turtle helmet, not only is it irrelevant, but it's also a gimmick. Okay, let's move on to the next one now. So one of the bigger additions that Minecraft 1.18 added was the lightning rod. And to be honest, I think the lightning rod is just a gimmick. So, story time. When I was in 3rd grade or so, we learned about Benjamin Franklin. And Benjamin Franklin was the guy who invented the lightning rod. And I remember coming home from school on that day asking my parents, hey, do we have a lightning rod in our house? And they said no. And I was like, holy moly, we're gonna all die to a lightning strike. But one thing I didn't know back then was that it's actually quite rare for your house to be struck by lightning. And the same holds true in Minecraft. It's never even happened to me, in real life or in Minecraft. So the lightning rod's entire purpose is just kind of redundant. Honestly, I think the lightning rod was only added just so that you can have another thing to use copper blocks for. Which I think is also Mojang's fault. They should have added like more useful stuff you could do copper with. Like, you know, I take more pickaxes, more swords, more armor. I just think that'd be nice to have another mid-tier armor, especially since copper is so easy to get. Hey Mojang, do your thing. Microphones and telescope. What the hell am I saying? Lightning rods and telescope. Lightning rods and spyglasses. Who calls them spyglasses? Honestly, I'm just lost for words, kind of, in a way. So I think that this pick is going to be a lot more controversial than my previous ones were. And here it is. I think that the Trident is a gimmick.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, I understand if you don't agree with me here, because to be honest, this is a pretty saucy pick. However, I have my reasons, and I'm going to explain them to you guys right now. First of all, in Java Edition, the Trident is unreasonably rare. The only drowns that drop the Trident are the ones that have the Trident, which is only like a 6.25% chance in Java Edition, and then they only have an 8.5% chance if they have the Trident of dropping it. So that's pretty bad odds. And while the odds are better on Bedrock Edition with a 15% chance for a drown to spawn with a Trident, it's still pretty uncommon to get one there as well. And don't get me wrong, Tridents are awesome. The enchantments are insane, the mechanics in general are pretty cool, but they're so hard to obtain, but you rarely see people using them in combat. Really, the only time I see people using the Tridents are to try to get enchantments that require a Trident. So that's my reasoning behind why I think the Trident's a gimmick. Well, I'm afraid that we've made it to the end of this video, and what can I say, man? I'm kinda hyped. It just feels good to be making videos again after my inconsistent and long breaks from uploading that I've been having. If you enjoyed this video, then I encourage you to subscribe to help us on our quest for 300. Hopefully my upload schedule will be more consistent in the future, and you should see more videos coming. Anyway guys, see ya.